talk about PMAN, the Performing Musicians Association, Performing Musicians Employers Association of Nigeria. It is an organization, interestingly founded by Christy Ibukwe and Sonny Okosun all the way back in 1984. So what were they there for? What's the essence? Well, it's basically to guide, to protect and promote the interests of musicians in Nigeria. Like you, an artist, upcoming, established, it's meant to protect your interests. Now, here to discuss how these interests have been protected from the perspective of royalties, copyright infringement, contract disputes, the developments and the challenges of the organizations, especially within the fast-evolving music industry in Nigeria. I've got the president of PMAN, Pretty Okafor. It's been a minute. Lovely to see you again. Thanks for joining me on the show. How have you been?
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's talk about this. PMAN, I want you to elaborate on how much of a job this is, the task right now that's been put on you as the president, protecting these artists. How much of a task has it been? I know this began for you as president in August 2022. So you're almost a year, actually. You should be celebrating your anniversary soon. So what's the entire process been like?
It's huge. Is this huge? First, PMAN is actually a trade union. It's the only trade union in entertainment industry. So it means we need to manage the welfare, promotion, entrepreneurship for musicians, and it's a whole lot. And we've been able to change the perception for the union to a better one. I don't know if you're aware, recently we purchased the first ever PMAN edifice for the past 40 years. We launched it last year, and now we've been able to acquire and build radio stations for PMAN. We're having it in Lagos and we're having it in Abuja at the same time, and that is for only members. And you need to be a musician, you need to be a PMAN member before your work can be played on this station. So we're doing a whole lot to protect the interest of the musicians. And you mentioned about copyright. Yes, copyright again is one of the stuff that PMAN does. PMAN is the only institution that can give a notary cover to CMOs. CMOs are the collective management organizations. So the CMOs are not music associations. They are not trade union. PMAN is a music association, is a trade union. So PMAN gives the CMOs, which is the collective management organizations, the right to collect the royalties for musicians. And these royalties are in a whole lot. The royalties are like the mechanical royalties, the performance royalties, the digital royalties, and the needle time royalties. The needle time is for both the performers, the backup, the dancers, and all that inclusive. So what we're trying to do is our members and educate musicians in general what the benefits of being a member and what right the union can actually protect you this far.
Okay, now, as a trade union, just to put this in perspective, we're looking at about how many members do we have at the moment? Do we have up to like 200,000?
No, we have 1.650.
1,650,000.
Before we got in 50, yes.
We have
That's
up to
why
1 million
we were able
musicians.
to generate the revenue to.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you just say we have up to 1,650,000?
We are more than.
Wow.
We are more than. I can break it down. We are more than this amount that has already registered. What of those that haven't registered?
I'm just trying to visualize this. So basically, all our top artists, I want to assume, are within PMAN, I believe.
Yes, some of them are registered, some of them are not. But why they register is because they need to get a notary cover for their touring license. When I say their touring license, if they are going to any country around the world, they need a cover for them to get their work permit in that country. And they can only get that notary cover from PMAN. So that's why most of them are registering. But if we, like 10 years, 5 years back, they were getting it from other countries. But since we set up and perfected our structure, everybody is returning back home to demand for the cover from the trade union.
This is interesting. So apart from obviously the fact that they would like to generate revenue from their tours, we know a lot of artists outside the country. Most recently, I know Davido is currently moving around the US, specifically North America. He's on his tour. A couple of weeks ago, he had, he was given a key to, I think it was Houston Day, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of artists go on tour, but apart from this obvious fact, what other reasons do these artists register for? Because when we think of our international artists, as I like to call them, or as they call themselves now, it almost seems like these artists are able to thrive irrespective of PMAN. So would you call the relationship one where one cannot do without the other? Have artists found a way to circumvent the involvement of PMAN in their artistry?
Now, when you're the A-listers, right, it's difficult for you to think about your growth in the music. Your concern will be making money and playing tours. But once you're a bit older, you're now thinking about the structure and the sustainability of your profession. So the sustainability of your profession has to do with PMAN. You will need to have a cover. Like if you register as a PMAN member, you're definitely going to have a health insurance, and health insurance also a life insurance. A life insurance, you also have a pension plan. And extras, now because you're a registered member, you have a cover for legal assistance, for contractual issues. You don't have to spend money on that. PMAN does that for you. Then, and also I mentioned it, visa assistance and the rest. Now for the C-listers and the D-listers, you have a platform that can give you an access to distribute your work to 156 digital stores without payment, just because you're a PMAN member. So these are all what we've been doing. So we're actually protecting both the touring artists, both the studio artists, both the recording artists all together. But the major fact is we've actually realized that we need the musicians need the structure to actually grow.
Okafor, from everything you've said now, I'm thinking realistically speaking, let's list 10 artists, right? Off the top of my head, I'll list Tiwa Savage, Burna Boy, Thames, Wizkid, Omale, Fireboy, DML. Let me think. Buju, yeah, Benson, fantastic artist. KC, who else would I mention? Naira Marley, that's number 9. Let's keep it at 9 different artists that I've mentioned. Now, I can tell you for a fact that what all of these artists have in common is the fact that they can all handle these things you've mentioned on their own. But you know what they cannot handle on their own?
No,
hold on.
You're wrong.
Let me land. Hold on. You can correct me if I'm wrong, please. When I say handle things on their own, they can handle their insurances on their own. Some of them have even dual citizenships, not to talk of the fact that some of them can afford to treat themselves outside. Some of them are under structures that have a legal framework to handle their issues. I'm just listing based on what she said as some of the benefits for registering. But I was going to say what they do not have is that structure that basically puts in place terms and conditions to control how some of these big studios and big record labels treat them as artists. We've had several artists. Peruzzi is one of those artists. Not Peruzzi, actually. I'm sorry to say that. It wasn't Peruzzi. His name skips my mind. But there was Kiss Daniel. That's the artist I was thinking about. There's several artists in Nigeria that have had the worst contractual battles. I remember when I was going to talk about Flyboy Inc. during an interview, and I was told, oh, let's not talk about Flyboy Inc. Please, we don't want drama. We don't want problem. Contract issues goes beyond money. They'll frustrate you, frustrate your art. Don't you think this is what PMAN should be focusing on? How do we protect these artists from things that they cannot do for themselves?
Okay, thank you so much for, it was a smart question, but I just wanted to correct you a bit. First, all those 9 artists you mentioned are just 9 out of 1 point something, right? Then these 9 artists, none of them traveled out without a notary cover from PMAN, a notary cover from the trade union, first time they went on tour. So you need to also understand that. Now, for contractual issues, the union can only delve into your contractual issues if you are a member, an active member, and if you bring the problem to the union. We can't start running around and chasing everybody that has issues. So whatever you bring to us is what we're going to deal with. And like I said, even if it's royalty issues, there's MCSN, which is the only recognized body for royalty collection. And the royalty collection is both here in Nigeria and outside because they have reciprocal agreements all around the world. So PMAN is the only one that can guide you to, or the only organization that can guide you to see how you could navigate through your royalty issues, because we have a registered body that can handle it here. Then also your contractual issues. Like I said, if you're sick and you don't go to the hospital and tell a doctor, how would the doctor know that you're sick? Some of them are having a whole lot of issues, but some we have handled. Once you bring it to our attention, we'll handle, because that's why we're here. That's why we're a union, a trade union, to manage the affairs of the musicians and their welfare.
Thank you so much for that. Now let's talk about up-and-coming artists. Let's leave the big guys alone. I'm sure you all know how to handle yourselves. Let's talk about the up-and-coming artists, which lately has been of major concern to me, because, Prissy, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm tired. My ears, they want to tear, because everyone is an artist these days, and I don't understand how this works. How do you wake up and just say, yo, I'm an artist, I'm going to put out a song, and, you just do what you want to do, and then that's it. You were talking about radio earlier. PMAN, I'm sure you know, pretty rather, you've heard of payola. These days, you don't need to be a fantastic artist. It's been there longer than I've been in the industry. Payola has been a standard, not just in Nigeria, but outside the country. You pay, you get your songs played. So it's like, if you don't play my song, I'll pay this person, they'll play my song. And if you annoy me, I'll pay them to not play your song as well. It's been one of the demons within the industry that we have seen. So for up-and-coming artists, what are some of the things PMAN's putting in place to not only protect them, but to ensure that whatever quality or content is going out, we're able to sieve the good from the bad? And that good that we have, that little crop, we can provide them with assistance, we can provide them with support if they don't have, so people can hear their music.
Okay, so first is also to correct an impression. There's no bad music, there's no bad song. So what we have is bad promotion or a bad mixing. But I'll tell you, even the terrible mixed songs can sometimes sell out the better mixed songs. So you need to understand that. Now, from PMAN standpoint, we cannot tamper with the creativity of a particular artist or an artist. What we can do is to guide you. Like we're building academy we have in Lagos, we're building in Abuja. We're trying to put it in 6 geopolitical zone. That is taking them through the rudiment of music and the business of music. So you are a PMAN member and you're new. We submitted all your listing, and we're like, okay, so you need to go back to learn the rudiments. And once you're done with the rudiments, you need to go do 6 months or 1 year for the business of music. Now, it's helping you to be a better musician and a better person and a better, because we're living in a digital age. Like a whole lot of people are surprised. How come we had so much number of people registered from what my predecessors had? Is because we digitalized the whole system. You can actually register via your phone or via your laptop or via any business center. You don't have to look for PMAN office. You do it on your phone and you get communication and you get your confirmation. So we're trying to make this artist go through this process, and once they go that process, they now have access. I mentioned it earlier on. They have access through their community with the PMAN website, and they can distribute their songs on. They don't have to pay, and it goes to digital stores. Now they now can collect the stream and all that, and once they are collecting the stream, the mechanical and the performance and digital royalty will also be monitored and be collected by the CMOs. So there's a structure already to make, if I use Nigeria, Lagos in focus as Mecca for global music, because we're actually growing more than our expectation, and it's a predetermined process. It was a planned strategy that Afrobeat, Afro hip hop transcended to Afrobeat, and suddenly we've taken over the globe. So we're trying to sustain that. We're trying to sustain that fame, and we're trying to also sustain the structure. So it's going to benefit both the established Artiste, and the Greenhorns.
I love that, quite honestly. And it takes me now to, I would use the word investments. You know, record labels, for instance, we have a number of them in Nigeria. Does PMAN collaborate with them, seeing as these record labels are a pool for artists as well? They bring the artists together, they house them, they promote them, they support them. Is there some type of collaboration you have with these record labels or even other institutions to aid investments into this industry? Because regardless, it's a trade union. And at the end of the day, you know, funds are necessary, regardless, for whatever use, whether it is to support other artists or fund some of the projects that you've just mentioned. So what are some of the avenues that, you know, you use in getting some of this funding?
Okay, recently the avenues that we used in getting, or like we just purchased our edifice, and the edifice in Lagos is carrying the PMAN radio, the PMAN FM that will soon go live. We're actually installing the equipment. All the studio equipments have arrived, and we are springing up and building the Abuja one. Now for the Abuja, we got that want to invest in the union and are partnering with us to build that. Now for the record label, they already have funding, right? They already have funding, and they are trying to also make profit. Also remember that PMAN is not a non-profit organization, so we're also careful in dealing with some of this partnership and all that. But for how we were able to acquire our radio equipment and build our studio, how we're able to acquire our properties in Lagos and in Abuja, it's simple. And I'll let you do the mathematics. The registration fee for each person, each member, is 6,000, and we have over 1 million subscribers. So you could just do the mathematics. That's why we don't go out looking for sourcing for who is going to fund PMAN. Yes, my predecessors were doing it. They go to government, but we've never done it. We're not going to do it because we came up with ourselves. Then we are also open to working with the corporate bodies, because what we did first was to change the perception for them to understand that we're no beggars. Now, the whole of them are coming to table because we have a whole lot of programs that are going to benefit the industry, benefit the youths, benefit the musicians. So corporate bodies are actually coming in.
Well, thanks a lot for all of this. I've got to say a big thank you for joining me on Arise 360 today, Pretty Okafor. And well done. I mean, from that calculation, I'm looking at what, about 6 billion? And that's good. I mean, for a non-profit, that's not bad at all. So well done. And I really hope that you put together something special for your anniversary. It's going to be really, really lovely to see, especially based on all the hard work that has gone into
We're working towards
the association. Absolutely. Thanks for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your day.